Yeah, so I'm going to install the L.R.Baggs 5.0 Ukulele System undersaddle pickup. Looks similar, right? Just like that. Now, I'm going to put it on this 100% acoustic ukulele. That's the Duke. And there's a few of the things we're going to need. We're going to need a couple different sizes of drill bits. We're going to, of course, need a drill itself, a screw gun. We're going to need a 1/2-inch flapper blade, I call it. Spade blade. Side cutters. X-Acto knife will come in handy. Definitely going to need a C-wrench. Tape, absolutely. White Monster, check, got it. Masking tape, the tape measure, I don't think we actually needed that. And a little file will be helpful. And then a paint marker. Phillips screw head, small bit. Now, I'm doing it this way rather than shooting the video. I want to show you some closer up looks. You can examine it like this, of things that maybe aren't so clear in instructions or other videos that I saw. Now, if you're like me and you're as dying to play electric guitar, you'll find any space you can to do it. I'm live in my vehicle, so I'm doing it out the back of my vehicle. So first thing to do is going to loosen up the strings. And I took my paint marker and I marked the right-hand side of that saddle. That way I know which side to put it in, direction to put it back in. So we're going to do some work to it right here. I want to adjust and lower the height of that by the stack of the braided cable for the pickup, which is exactly, precisely, just about that tall. And so we'll tape it off real nice. You can see we got 320 sandpaper. That's the coarsest I had. It worked just fine. So you just go and sand away real nice like. And just real flat. Tape makes a little handle up there real nice. And you get on down to where it's all finished up. Now we're going to open up the sound hole, tape off the strings. Remove the old strap jack, and we're going to use a little bit larger bit to open up that hole just a little bit more. That was already pre-installed. You could start from scratch if you didn't have that hole already. Now we used a 1/2-inch flapper blade, the spade blade. This is a brand new Diablo. Tape it off, can help with the splintering, which you're going to get no matter what, especially with that veneer surface. There we go. You can use the drill itself to kind of soften that up once you're done drilling. You can clean it out. This is the X-Acto knife comes in. You can cut off those little blades, those little bits. You can see down in there how nice that hole is, though. Oh, that's straight through, like a cylinder. And then I use some sandpaper to get in there and sand it up real nice. You can see where it's just damaged the edge of that. There's no way of getting around that. It's just going to do it a little bit. So you're going to find a blade or a drill bit that's as wide as your saddle slot. In this case, it is a 7/64. And you're going to drill down from the top into the sound cavity of the guitar body. You're going to do it at right where the saddle slot is and at about a 45-degree angle. Once you have that drilled, come back in with the X-Acto knife, clean up like it did before. And we're going to go further because we want to make sure that we're not catching anything on that braided pickup cable. So we're going to make sure to try to get the inside of that little cylinder of that 320 is working just fine. If you had a round file that size, you could use that too. Now, run a instrument cable up in through and come out the sound hole. This is the pickup mic body itself. It's got a threaded cylinder, and it's got all sorts of washers and nuts. You're going to adjust the nut down in towards where my left hand is there. And this little cover comes off right there. You have a nut, lock washer, spring washer, regular washer, and then you come out the other side, washer, nut, and then the strap jack cover. So you go back and forth a couple, 3, 4, 5 times, and you get it adjusted so it sits just right on the outside there, where this little hole is exposed and covered by the nut, just right at the edge of it, and that's where you're going to use to tighten that. I use a little drill bit. You could use a little Allen wrench if you had that. It'd be a little easier to get in there probably. So you hold that tight, let the C-wrench come in and snug it up. Just light hand tight. You don't want to crack the wood, you know what I'm saying? You also don't want it to come loose either. Again, you can see how that bit holds that cylinder in place, this threaded sleeve. Now, you're going to, back and forth, we have adjusted this already, so that's the cap that goes on for the strap. Plug it in, make sure it's solid. Now, let's do the pickup. So they've included this fishing line that has a little looped end on it. You're going to take the opposite end of that loop. You're going to put it down into that puka you drilled. Then bring it on up the other side. You can see the threaded or the braided pickup cable itself. You can see where that loop is keeping that from diving back in there. You can also see the battery for the preamp and the volume knob. Now, they have this nice little end to the pickup that has the puka already. Thread that through like a needle. And then you tie it off, make a nice little hitch. Pull it through. Look at that. Right on through. Bring that all the way up so it don't fall back in. Then we're going to trim it. Their instructions are a little vague, but they did have this little black section here. You want to cut it right at the edge of that black section. Just has that little tab. That's that part you're breaking off right there. Once you do that, nice and clipped, I took that little file and I just kind of rounded those corners just the lightest bit. Now line that up in the saddle slot. Put it down there nice and gentle, nice and flat. Now, prepare the other elements. We got a little Windex, going to degrease that wood there. Now, you could use a little bit of some super glue on there first. The super glue will hold the sticky pad itself, but it's 3M stuff. It's going to hold. If not, you can put it back on there some other time. No big deal. It's a little tough working in there and getting where that battery's going to go. But it's got a sticky part, some Velcro. You can see. It goes right on in there. And then volume knob goes underneath there. I moved that in a little closer once I started adjusting the wires. It has these clips. I didn't show that part. You can figure that out. It's these little clips they stick on there too. You run the cables through these clips. So remember, right side, it had the paint on it. Line that all up. Set that up gentle like and just quietly tamp it on in there and get it all nice and level and everything. Then tighten up your strings. See how nice and flush that is now. I left the pink on there for a little extra vintageness with the guitar. Now, plug it in. Let's see what she sounds like.